and welcome to another episode of why health and exercise is important and what's going on behind the scenes in your body. My name is Alex. This is actually going to be part 1 of 3 of a little series I'm doing about sodium and electrolytes. Sounds like one of those words fitness freaks throw around to sound healthy. Hydrate, balance your electrolytes, buy this neon drink. But it's not woo-woo, it's just basic cell function. And of course, I'm going to explain through the magic of my little stick figures here. Okay, this is a cell. Inside your cell, potassium likes to hang out. Potassium. Sodium, on the other hand, likes to hang out on the outside of the cell, chilling on the outside. I'm actually going to draw a teeter-totter. Teeter-totter. There's an imbalance between potassium and sodium. That is not by mistake. That's supposed to be that way. It's actually called a gradient. But when I was learning this gradient, they were using like the image of a hill and it didn't make any sense, so we're using a teeter-totter today. There's an imbalance. It's meant to be that way. The imbalance is what stores energy so you can fire your muscles and your nerves. Okay, this is where it gets kind of cool. Without this imbalance, your muscles don't fire, your muscles don't work. About how you need an imbalance when you actually want to move an object in your house. If you go to pick up a ball off of the floor, there's an imbalance there. You have to be stronger than that object, right? Or if you go to pull a lever, or like a teeter-totter, you've got to have one side heavier than the other side to create that energy to actually get the thing to move. That's what's happening with sodium and potassium. Following? I hope so. So when you go to fire your muscles, sodium, which sits on the outside of the cell, rushes into the cell. It goes flying in. Let me get a different color. When it's time to move, sodium, which is normally on the outside of the cell, comes flying into the cell. And it creates that teeter-totter. So sodium, heavier than potassium, flings up potassium in the teeter-totter, like the big kid at the playground. Sodium is the big kid. It sits on the teeter-totter or it flies into the cell, and potassium goes flying up. It creates energy. It's what gets your muscles to contract and your nerves to fire. Without it, your brain doesn't send signals. It's just a big mess. Sodium is important. Here's the problem. When you move, you sweat and you lose sodium. Sodium isn't outside of the cells where it belongs, so that can rush in when you move. Teeter-totter breaks, you lose energy, you start getting brain fog. You basically feel like trash. Electrolytes aren't just trendy, it's actually science, it's biology, it's physics. It's how you keep the system working so that you can keep running, keep pushing, keep working out. Even walking in excess heat, you're sweating out all of the sodium. Runners take sodium or an electrolyte drink before they run so that they can power and tap off that sodium on the outside of the cell so that when they're ready to actually move, they've got plenty of sodium that can rush in or push down that teeter-totter, create that imbalance between the sodium and the potassium, which charges the muscles, fires the nerves, and helps keep you running. Potassium, very important, but you don't lose potassium like you do sodium when you're running or exerting yourself. That's why sodium is usually the star of the show when you're talking about hydration and athletic performance. Before the next time you go out for a run or a good workout, or you're going for a big long walk, add a little bit of salt into your water. That's what I do. I also do lemon. Or get a very, very clean, I'm not one for drinks that have a bunch of crap in it. Get a very, very clean electrolyte drink and see how that affects your performance. Sodium plays another part when it comes to exercise. That's very important. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how sodium is the overworked dad in the sodium-potassium relationship. I have to create these little stories in my mind in order to make this stuff make sense. Okay, see you next time.